The most marks in the history of the game, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Riewoldt.
Yes. Good morning.
Lovely to see you, mate. Thank you for making the effort. First day of lockdown.
Hey, you've done me a favour, to be honest.
It's nice to get out, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Was it quiet on the roads?
It was quiet.
Yeah. It was quiet when we all came in. It was like zombie apocalypse that rolled through town.
Weird. Just, it was almost like last year never happened.
Yeah, I know.
Getting back into the swing of things.
And we had the little 5-dayer in Feb. It was like, oh, that's right, this sucks. And now we've got 7 days of it. What did your pandemic year football-wise look like last year? You were still here. You didn't go to the hub.
No, we didn't go up. So we just broadcast all of the games out of the studio in South Melbourne. But it was because there were the footy frenzies. We worked as hard as we've ever worked because it was footy every night,
which is back to back to back.
And you almost sort of had to generate sort of new content just to have stuff go to air. So last year was busy.
How do you
really
work?
busy.
Are you because I've seen a few blokes work differently. Like Richo has a big thick.
There's some different work operators. Yes, you're right.
A big thick book full of God knows what he's got in there. Are you a big thick book or an iPad kind of guy?
No, I keep a book that whenever I'm doing a game, I'm a bit old school. I'll print out the lineups from I'll print it off the internet.
Bang.
I'll cut and paste.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the actual scissors and paste and put it into my book. And then, so then I've got sort of the teams and I'll write in the scores as we go. And then anything I see, I'll just jot down.
Make a note of.
Yeah, and then during the week or a few weeks later, you can go back and say, oh, yeah, I remember when the Bulldogs were doing this against Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
When was that? And I'll have written it down, third quarter, 22-minute mark, and a little description.
That's incredibly comprehensive.
So you sort of log little things that you see within the game that you might think, oh, that'll be good to talk about one day or use as an example of they do this, they do that.
Next time you got the Bulldogs, you can flick back to when you saw them last.
That's right. Yeah, so that's how I sort of do it. And everyone's got these little footy almanacs. They're the little Bibles that they carry around, where if you're ever short on a stat or a little bit of padding, when you're talking about a play, you can just quickly flick through and did you know that he was he was played for Swan Districts?
And there's usually a bloke down in the booth as well, isn't there?
There's always a good
stats
man. Hey, you're only as good as your good stats man.
Yeah. The good stats man's a great addition to the team.
They are absolutely necessary.
Oh, Nick, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for making the effort.
Pleasure.
Looks like game of the round could be tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. It's got a bit of a new lens cast over it now, this one, doesn't it?
So Bulldogs, Melbourne.
Yeah, so the AFL would have been thinking, here we go, we've got the biggest game of the round,
arguably
the biggest game of the year, at our home deck, which the AFL own, Marvel Stadium, and there'll be no one there, but it'll still be a great game of footy. I think it's a good test of maturity for some of these players. So a lot of the players would have an eye now to the next few weeks and what it looks like. Are we going into hubs? Are we sort of going to have a bit of a repeat of last year?
The bye rounds come at a good time.
Yes, I think so. But I'm really excited about this one. We've got two sides. They're going to be right there come the end of the year.
Crowd-wise, you must have played a few games over the journey where it wasn't packed. How big an influence is the crowd on these blokes?
It plays a part. I liken it to sort of pre-season games when you run out and there's not much of a crowd there. I mean, it's probably I think it suits some guys. I think the level of expectation for some guys cripples them, and so playing in front of no one,
you still got to get your head over it.
It's a bit like radio when you sit around and you sometimes forget that you're talking to thousands of millions in this case.
Wonderful
in this show.
observation.
And you say things and you just sort of get lulled into a little sense of sort of security,
no
and you
one's
think,
listening.
I shouldn't have said that. There are actually a lot of people listening.
That happens every morning.
Yeah. So some guys it'll be good for. Other guys they'll have to just generate their own enthusiasm.
What else do you like? What's standing out? St Kilda North will be one of the great games.
Absolute
a battle of the ages there.
No, that's good. That's
got
just
the plum slot of 4:35 on a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, you get what you get. You don't get upset. That's our sort of lesson at home, isn't it, James?
Well done.
Actually, I went to the Saints game last week.
Because you had an inkling that they might go okay, I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I thought they match up pretty well against the Bulldogs. My first Saturday night off for the year.
That's right, and you went along.
And
you
so
took the
boys along.
And how did everyone go?
Oh, yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was good?
We get to half time and we're about 50 down. And I looked at the boys and I thought, okay, boys, I reckon.
Bit of pressure.
It's late.
Yeah, let's
the boys
go.
are a bit tired. and stood up, and I didn't realise we were level 2 right behind the goals. We were directly behind the St Kilda cheer squad.
Right.
And so they've sort of
Spotted
us and, hey, Rooey,
Hey.
sit down, boys. You can't very well walk out. And then I actually bribed my 4-year-old. I said, mate, come sit on Dad's lap.
Yeah.
Pretend you're asleep.
And
put your head on my shoulder,
good.
and I will buy you whatever you want on the way home. Just
wonderful.
pretend you're asleep, and he was great.
And then
just
you walked
disciplined,
them all out.
coachable. We walked out, and it was the kids' fault.
It's always the kids' fault.
It was a great out.
That's life.
Yeah.
Anything
What
else
else we
catching
got?
your eye? Richmond, Adelaide, Sydney,
No,
Carlton?
I'm looking at the Essendon West Coast game. I did Essendon last week. Essendon in my time since I started playing footy, so they won the flag. They won the flag the year I got drafted.
Yep.
But since then, they haven't really been a dominant force, and they're for such a massive club. But I see the little pieces they've been able to assemble, and I just get the feeling they're on the march.
They're there or thereabouts.
Yeah, they're like a year or two away, but you can see the bits. You can see the pieces they've been able to acquire, and they get a really good test against West Coast too. And a lot of people now are sort of starting to question their premiership credentials. So
where is that? That's in
It's
Perth.
over there.
Yeah. Full crowd too.
And then we've got some weird ones. So Richmond, Adelaide's in Sydney.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then Gold Coast Hawthorns
Also in Sydney.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who gets that Richmond Adelaide home game? Richmond, because it would have been played here.
It would have been at the G, and now it's at Giants Stadium. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if Dimmer will come out and say, we hate coming here.
Coming here too.
He
Just
hates
like-
most things.
Hates
Dimmer.
going to Marvel. Hates going to GWS for home games too.
All right, mate. Well, have a
Good
lovely
stuff,
weekend.
guys.
Lovely to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Stay safe, everyone.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Triple M.